So the more I look at the North American plains, it's so flat out there, which means that something washed and settled, right? So there could be valleys and mountainous regions underneath, like Kansas, so flat. Like even if you follow the mainstream view of the ice ages and all that fun stuff, and you have your water rushing out of glaciers once they break free, then you have everything east of the Rocky Mountains being a washout from Canada. And what you're left with is like a pool of like sediment, and then it settles in that whole area, like the Midwest states. And so you're left with a relatively flat topography that's prone to tornadoes because there's no fucking trees there.
To me, it does look like a floodplain that you know, because like of these huge boulders that are just from out of nowhere. You know, where does this huge boulder come from? It's just sitting out in the middle of, you know, had been carried there by a huge amount of water.
Everything was just mud. Trees are like a new situation going on. I heard that grasslands are unnatural, and that's a marker for deforestation by maybe past civilizations that cleared out forests or whatever.
Or a disaster. You just look at a map like this and
like look at that line of the mountains there. That's crazy.
It's just incredible.
What is that Devil's Peak thing? Looks like a tree trunk.
Yeah.
And you know, if gravity was different to allow the dinosaurs to exist at their size, then maybe forests were fucking enormous, and the redwoods are like just a peak of what was happening back then. You know what I mean?
Well, I was just thinking about, essentially, you know, you're looking at like a ruined civilization that was once maybe rivaled European civilization. There was clearly something happening in North America. We know that there was something happening in South America, you know, that showed some amount of advanced human activity.
On the peaks of crazy mountaintops.
But then there's some event that wipes out whatever sophisticated culture built the Aztec and Mayan, you know, ruins and all the ruins in South America. And I mean, that's what, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, that's kind of what, I mean, look at this map and then think about this caldera blowing.
Seems like dramatic topography. Where's Mount St. Helens and all that?
I don't know what any of this is. I'm pretty sure that Mount St. Helens is in Washington State.
Look at that shit. What the fuck?
Thing blue, man.
What about Yellowstone? Where's Yellowstone at in relation?
As far.
Wow, yeah, it's over there.
The caldera part actually is like huge underneath here, and it travels way into this part of Idaho. And I'm imagining that this just gets periodically flooded with lava. This is supposedly the caldera, right? It's a top piece of a plate that I guess has its own separation somewhere. There's a clear change in topography just all around the west of this thing. So it's like you can almost imagine that what you're saying is true, and that the whole country used to look sort of more like this.
Yeah.
With this craggly, ancient bedrock. And
yeah, well, look at the east and the west, and the center seems to just be this.
And this has been washed out.
Yeah, desert is not natural. Desert is the effect of some sort of disaster. So, in the Sahara, there's some other stuff going on. In America and in Canada, there's a whole other jazz. So you look at all the desert regions, like all that sand. Where'd the fucking sand come from? It's like some sort of electrical bolt must have just cascaded across that entire area, and then just the winds of time just broke down all that silica, or some sort of nuclear bombardment. Who knows?
I don't know what we're looking at.